Hey guys, it's Anthony here. This is Anime Declassified, hosted by AnimeSecrets.org, and we're going to be discussing Chainsaw Man. I know for the last few weeks we've only done like the first 4 episodes, and we were on I guess 3 or 4 week hiatus, and they just already aired like the last episode like not too long ago, episode 8, and yeah, so we're gonna be reviewing episodes 5, 6, and 7. Oh, I'm not doing it alone. I got my two other Chainsaw Man users, or should I say, my Chainsaw Man reviewers. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm the impatient one, Riz, who started talking before he introduced me.
I'm Clarissa. I'm the #1 Power fangirl.
Power is amazing. So, when we left off Chainsaw Man, Power and Denji were in the bathroom, and Power said, I owe you 3 Copperfields. So, take your 3 Copperfields now. And Denji is left kind of stunned, and the episode cuts there, and episode 5 begins. And at the start of episode 5, Denji is still in the bathroom with her. No time has passed. And he cops the 3 feels after some playful back and forth between the two of them. And he gets kind of, I don't know, would you call it depressed, or would you call it disappointed?
It's more or less disappointment. I would say maybe both, but it's more disappointment than anything else.
It felt like he felt kind of depressed because Denji did not find that electric spark he was hoping to get from copping a feel, and he wanted a connection, but he didn't get that, and so he goes to his boss lady Makima the next day, and he mentions it, and she tells him, hey, it's only because you know nothing about Power. Like, y'all don't even know each other. Like, you only know her as the girl that dragged you on that wild goose chase to get her dog back. Beyond that, what do you know about her? And he was like, true point, I get it. And she begins to tease him herself and lets him cop a feel on her. And I'm just here sitting here thinking, like, dang, my man Denji getting around a little bit now.
Right.
So,
a little jealous, not gonna lie.
The rest of episode 5 is pretty simple. Makima tells him there's a gun devil who's a really powerful beast that's responsible for like killing about like 1 million, 2 million people, including Akai's family, something like that. And
Yes.
she tells him, if you can bring the gun devil down, I will grant you any wish you want. Nothing's off limits. And Denzi's mind immediately goes to because he wants more than cop a feel now. He wants to go all the way with her and hit a home run. So Akai and him and the rest of Akai's team, which include Akai's longtime friend Himeno, and then 2 other people, Kobeni and Arai.
Yep.
And that consists of a team that goes looking for the gun devil, like to begin hunting for clues. And the way that they can hunt the gun devil is the fragments the gun devil leaves behind from its gun is that pieces attract to the main gun devil body. So if you got a piece of his body, you can track him.
Yeah, they're like little flesh bullets.
And also, the isn't it also says like specifically they are looking for demons that have it because a lot of times demons will because like if you eat it you get stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand that part as well. So, like, if you eat a piece of a demon, or did you eat a piece of that demon?
The gun devil specifically, I think.
Yes,
Okay,
the gun.
so
I
it
mean,
is gun
eating a
devil.
demon or drinking their blood will like, you know, it'll like perk you back up. It'll help you regenerate, but I think
It's sort of
specifically they said if you eat a piece of the gun devil's flesh, then you get more powerful.
yeah.
Okay,
It kind
so
of reminds me of another anime that I watched before that it wasn't exactly flesh bullets per se, but it was another thing that like from a certain creature that if you eat its body parts, you get power. So it's similar to that, but it's not like the same thing as this.
interesting.
Mhm.
So their hunt with the magnetized fragment thingy, that's like basically a compass to the gun devil, leads them to a hotel where they discover a devil inside. Uh, Clarissa's all-time favorite person kills the devil in like one fell swoop, and well, they end up trapped on the 8th floor of this hotel, and they can't leave the 8th floor no matter what they do.
And
Because they realize if they go down the stairs, they come back from the bottom stairs back up, or if they, or the opposite if they go the other way. And if they try to go in one room, they see a door on the other side of the room of the hotel, but it leads them back to the exact same hallway. So no matter what you do, you're stuck in the hotel on the 8th floor now. There is no leaving it.
did anyone get any like JoJo Bizarre Adventure vibes from this when they watched this
Yes,
episode?
Kinda,
yes.
yeah.
I was actually thinking we should have had a JoJo here for this. Like, we were missing Jotaro or somebody.
Right, yeah. It's the work of enemy stand.
Yeah. The next episode, I feel like not a lot really happened per se, right? Like,
Yeah.
they notice that the clocks in the room are stuck going between like second 13 and 12, for example, of some specific minute of time. And time is basically frozen in that instant. Um, and they realize they're completely cut off from the outside world. And so they begin trying to get supplies to survive living in the hotel. And I mean, I don't think too much else truly happens. There's a lot of character development here with Akai and Himeno bonding a little bit and talking about their shared past, which I think is kind of fascinating. Like, apparently, Himeno is the reason Akai smokes because they smoke the exact same brand of cigarette. And, like, they just have a shared history that's pretty deep. And you can kind of tell that Himeno has a thing for Akai, but I don't think Akai understands that yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think he's kind of clueless, to be honest. Um, so at the end of the episode, I think the another devil appears and says, "I will let you guys go if you kill Denji and bring me his body so I can eat it." And Akai and I think Himeno might have said, "No, we won't do that," while the other two are like, "Okay, if it gets us out of here, we'll do it. Screw it."
Yeah, Kobeni and Arai were just like, no, screw you guys. I want to go home. It's like, let's just get rid of him now.
Yeah. And that's a huge struggle, right? Because they can't, because he's under Akai's protection. And to be honest, I think Denji has a upper hand on everyone else in the group with his unique powers of Chainsaw Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, Anthony, you've read more of this than I have. Do you think they could have taken him in a fight?
Who are we talking about?
Like anyone on the team taking on Denji in a fight and win?
I feel he would struggle
think so.
with a few of them, but not all of them.
Clarissa, you think so?
I think somebody could, but not in a way that we would think.
Okay. That's interesting. I guess I can.
Well, so like the first thing I would think of is, oh, well, Aki would just con him or something. But would he really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking just within. I thought you meant like in general, not within the.
No, just in the group of people, like the group that they're with.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't see it happening.
No.
Because
not in that present situation now.
Because the chainsaws, I feel like, are just too OP at this point. Which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's good for the group in their current predicament. Because, spoilers, the Chainsaw Man is how to get out of this entire mess. But on the other hand, it kind of sets Denji up to be too overpowered for his own good, like compared to everyone else in the group. Like, he needs a foil in the group, I think, and nobody, I think, can give him that challenge.
Like someone who can easily like take him out if he gets too rowdy, I guess, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, because like, at some point, I don't know which of the 3 episodes it was in, so I might be talking about a future event in like the next episode. But they tell the group like, yeah, if Denji ever acts out, all we have to do is kill him. But can they?
Just don't give him any blood.
I guess. So, while this is all going on, the other thing that's kind of going on in the background, Kobeni and Arai start to get more fearful, and as their fear grows, the Eternity Devil, the devil that wanted Denji's head, gets bigger and takes up more of the hotel floor. And at one point, he actually just turns the entire floor vertically.
Yes.
And this episode, I believe it ended with Kobeni trying to kill Denji with a knife, but Akai takes the stab instead, which really pissed off Himeno. And Power's left trying to use her blood magic to stop the bleeding. So the episode ends with Denji seeing all this and realizing the reason the devil wants to eat his body is because he's afraid of the chainsaw. So you know what he does? He revs it up and he jumps into the belly of the beast. Literally, because at this point,
Gangster.
the entire floor is the monster vertically. Like you're just at the top or on the ledge looking down at this big monster at this point. So, needless to say, episode 7, Denji makes short work of the devil and kills it. Yes?
But it actually, like you say short work, but the entire fight actually lasts 3 whole days.
You're right.
Yes. Because like he has to like, he's going at it. But the thing is that like the turn devil's like, oh yeah, you can't kill me though, blah blah, because I'm like, I'm still gonna keep coming back, whatever. But Denji on the other hand keeps devouring its blood. So even if he's probably tired and worn out or whatever, he can't exactly die, or his chainsaws won't retract because he's getting more blood coming into him. More blood he has, the more longer he can keep his chainsaws up.
Yeah, so it's like an endless cycle at this point. He
Yeah.
stabs the guy, blood spews out. He drinks the blood. He keeps fighting, and for 3 days it's going on while the guys at the ledge are just like, "What do we do now?"
It's just and then it gets to the point where like the Attorney Devil's like, okay, fine, just kill me, please. I'm tired of fighting you. Just end my suffering.
Yeah, and that's where it ends. Denji destroys him. They escape the hotel, and they end up. They pull an Avengers move here in a way. At the end of the first Avengers movie, everyone goes to get Swarmer together to hang out and celebrate, right? But
Yeah.
in this case, they don't go for Swarma, but the group does go get together and go to like a ramen shop of kinds, and they get dinner there with everyone. Makami comes, the entire group is there, and I think part of the motivation for everyone going to dinner together was not only to celebrate, but also to help Kabani and Arai kind of not quit their job in this group because of the experience they had.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of flirting because Makami's there, Power's there, and Konemi is there. And see, promised. So before the 3-day battle, he is promised his first kiss by Konami, right? Like that's yeah. So during the thing, during dinner, she goes to give him a kiss, and poor dude, I felt so bad. Himeno is so drunk from all the booze they've been drinking that when she goes to give him his kiss, she vomits in his mouth.
Ugh. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, no, they went full, like they went all in on it, like it was censored and everything.
Yeah,
It wasn't in the manga.
when I saw the censor bar, I couldn't at first understand what was going on because I'm used to seeing that in a different context. So then it finally clicked. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Denji passes out from this scarring event. So just for the record, this is his first kiss, and his second person he's had any kind of attachment with. And this happens.
Yeah.
If I were him, I would never want anything to do with her again. And in a sane world, that's where it would end, right? But
yeah,
because he passed out, Himeno carries her back to her apartment, where she's still wasted as hell, and says, "Hey, I'm gonna offer you the chance to hit a home run with me as your first to make up for what happened." And I think part of it's not only that, but also she's getting jealous because at dinner, she can tell Denji has a thing for Makami. And she doesn't like that she's not the first choice for him. So I think that kind of motivated the drunken offer here.
Well, they had that drinking contest. I know that much.
Well, the drinking contest, yes, you're right.
You can see a little bit of that in there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
A little bit of
definitely.
that jealousy.
Yeah, the drinking contest between Mikami and Himeno is really critical to like setting the stage of Himeno is jealous as hell at this point. You're right.
But yeah, but can we just talk about how like don't y'all think there was something odd about Makima, the fact that she was able to drink that much and was not affected at all?
Yeah, I get a weird feeling about her. Like she's got some major like power stuff. Like why is she's like always running everything? I haven't seen her like she other than the one time she goes out and sees Denji, I feel like she doesn't go like into the field much. Or at least we haven't seen her go into the field much.
Right.
Well, I think she's more the cleanup crew, honestly. And she's also the administrator of the entire organization, or maybe just the branch that they have the building for. I don't quite understand how that works yet, but I don't think she's one of the hunters, per se.
Right.
So, the episode ends with her offering to hit a home run. And all I gotta say is, what is with these cliffhanger endings at the end of an arc where Denji is given some thing that he wants and he has to, you know, grapple with the lack of self confidence to, just run with it and do what he wants. Like he
Right.
gets really shy, he gets really antsy, but he wants it, but he doesn't know if he can have it. Like that's becoming a theme here, guys. Like I don't know if it continues beyond this arc, but if it does, then interesting. So, what are your thoughts on these 3 episodes?
I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the I always like a good weird episode where there's something that doesn't quite make sense. Like the whole being caught into the being caught in the loop. It was cool how they did spend a good portion of one of the episodes being like, okay, so we tried this. We tried going through the ceiling. We tried going through the floor. We tried going out the windows. We made all these weird notes about it was fun. It was a different change. It was a nice change of pace from just like balls to the wall, crazy fighting and shit.
Yeah, Anthony.
I want to say that these episodes were actually pretty good. Actually glad we decided to do these episodes all together because had we had just did like S one at a time, it would have been more jarring because it felt like a very extended arc, you know.
Yeah, and I'm also glad we did this as well in this way. I know our listeners probably expected us to do like a weekly recap, but honestly, the way these episodes are coming out, I can't see us doing a weekly thing for Chainsaw Man. It has to be when an arc or a part of the story ends. But anything else you want to add?
Oh, what did you guys think of Kobeni and Orai and Himeno? Well, matter of fact, we'll add Himeno to the mix too.
Clarissa, I'm going to let you start. Okay, so since Clarissa's not responding, um, I don't know. They don't.
Oh, sorry, my mic ended up getting muted somehow.
Oh, go for it.
Sorry about that. I was gonna say, Kobeni, I don't know enough about to really say anything about her. Kind of, flips out a bit. Like, Arai I kind of dig him. He's pretty neat. I'm really interested in Himeno because of this extremely dark past that she has. And we haven't mentioned this. They frequently show her going to the graves of her partners, and she's mentioned that she's lost 6 before Aki. Or was it 5 and he's the 6th? I don't remember exactly, but That is a huge thing. And like she mentioned at one point, demons are scared of people who have their heads together. They're scared of people who have a screw loose, who don't think rationally. And that's part of why Himeno has this, wild behavior, because she's like, if you're straight-laced and goody two-shoes and totally focused on your thing and not just a little bit crazy, you're going to get eaten by demons. At least to learn.
That's actually a good analysis because like we've already known that devils feed off of fear. If you're like batshit crazy, like that's actually scares them because we saw this with the Bat Devil and Denji's fight. Because when Denji was fighting against the Bat Devil and the Bat Devil was like losing and like Denji was just going all crazy and going ham, the Bat Devil was freaking out. He's like, "No, get away from me! Go away! You're too much! Go away! Stop!" So the crazier you are, like the better you might come out of being part of the Devil Hunter Society Association.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no, that she definitely has a really dark past, and this honestly shed some light on like the background of the demon hunters and the organization of like workers that are out there trying to stop devils from doing whatever they want. So that was a nice touch I felt to the episode. One thing I want to ask you, more of like an overarching theme in these first 7 episodes. So when we first meet Denji, it's very apparent and very obvious that he is just bottom tier society member. He's not gotten any breaks in life. He gets happy to get a piece of bread to eat for the day, like one slice of bread. He's had no meaningful connection with anyone as like a friend or a lover or anything. And he's been trying to pay down his debt. And I think all of that was really powerful in the first 2 episodes when we were talking about it. But I still liked Chainsaw Man a lot, so let me add that before I make my next statement. I'm not sure how I feel about the constant teasing the poor guy with the cop in the field or hitting the home run and the way that it has been kind of thrown around. It just seems like it feels a little unnecessary to me. Like, definitely have some of it, but every episode or every 2 episodes having it like hammered home like that, I don't know if I like it or dislike it yet. My jury's still out on that matter. What do y'all think?
If it was any other protagonist, I would agree with you on that. But this is Denji. I guess I could. I'm pretty much I'm okay with it because this doesn't happen like frequently. Just FYI, this is just only like a once every so often thing. It's not like a every scenario thing. If you get my drift.
Okay, so in the manga, it's not as saturated throughout the rest of the story, and we're just getting a lot of saturation of it now, but possibly
Yes.
later we won't have it as much.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Because stuff goes down. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. So then my answer to my question is, for the moment, I'm cautiously optimistic that this will not be a running gag throughout the rest of the season or the series. And it is something I'll be commenting on in future podcasts,
Right.
just to give my take on what I think of it now. But overall, I'm enjoying the ride. This has been a fun anime, and I'm glad you brought it up to me to watch it. Power is number one girl, like, no questions asked. Denji has such an interesting backstory and circumstance that his character is really fascinating to me. Everyone else, I want more time with them before I can tell you what I really think of them. Because right now, I don't truly know.
I like the very like. Come on.
Oh, I was gonna let you go.
I like the fact that we've got these very, very we've got much more complex characters than you typically get. Like, example, let's see. Well, so one thing that I thought was interesting was like the part where it shows Himeno when she first meets Aki or whatever. Or when she has met Aki, and that one lady walks up and slaps her because that was the partner that was like the spouse of one of her partners or the girlfriend of one of her partners that got killed. And talk about that in like other hero type shows. You would never think of someone walking up to Tanjiro and slapping Tanjiro in Demon Slayer because you and another Demon Slayer that I was married to went off and he didn't come back.
Right. Yeah, it really does happen.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It just goes to show you that, there are people behind. Yeah, you could say though that these are like background characters or these just like people like, but in the story itself, like there are people, they have their own lives, they have their own like stuff that's going on behind the scenes. It's not just about, it's about Denji, yes, but it's about but every single person has some story that they want to say, they want to tell.
Yeah.
And can we just talk about how how much I love Aki in the instance where in that instance where like Himeno gets slapped, he goes and like runs up to the ex or whatever and unknowingly sticks some gum on her shirt because like he didn't like the fact that Himeno got slapped.
Hey, you don't mess with Himeno, man.
Right.
And I
Now
mean, hey,
I have.
props. Yes.
I'm sorry. You actually you go ahead.
No, what I was going to say a little bit ago was I forgot my original comment I was trying to make completely, so y'all can have the floor while I try to find my thoughts.
You're good. What I was going to ask was, so after watching these episodes right here, what are your thoughts now on Aki as opposed to how you felt about him in episode 2?
So he's growing on me. His character is very interesting. Um, Aki kind of feels he's not a lone wolf, but he has characteristics of a lone wolf, and I like it.
Right.
Um, I think there's a lot more to him that I don't know yet, and I get a feeling we're about to get a lot more of it as we go on. So I'm pretty hyped to see where we go from here with his character. Same for like Himeno and Makima. I'm not as interested in Himeno and Kobeni yet, or Arai. I mean, nah, I'm interested in Himeno, but Kobeni and Arai, they haven't sold me on them yet as characters.
Did you find Kobeni annoying in her introduction in episodes that she's in?
I wouldn't say annoying.
He's very clearly in over her head and doesn't
I
want
would
to be there.
Yeah, I would.
Well, and she
definitely
even said the reason she's a demon hunter is because her family made her get a job to pay for her sibling or whatever, right?
her brother's college fund, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, because C wasn't the smart one in the family, so C had to support her brother, who is smart according to the family. And I don't know, I feel pity for her, but I also don't know. So she's timid as hell. She needs a job. And she has no real skill or things she brings to the table that I've seen yet. She alludes to it at the dinner at the end that she has a contract, but she wouldn't really talk about it too much. So that could be a thing, but I just don't have enough to go off of with her yet because most of the time that she's on screen in these 3 episodes, she's under the influence of the Eternity Devil. So we're not seeing her, we're seeing the effects of the Eternity Devil, really. So I don't have too many other things to say except that I'm excited to see the next arc, which I just watched it a few minutes ago and I like where we're going next. I'm not going to spoil it for the audience, but
That ramped way up is all I'm gonna say.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
Jesus. Whew.
Yeah. So strap in, boys and girls, because Chainsaw Man's about to go full speed ahead. But do y'all have any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
Mm,
Give
no.
Nobel Peace Prize to Power. Give her, well, not I. She's incapable of winning a Nobel Peace Prize, but she needs a Nobel Prize. She's gonna change the world. I believe in power.
Can she
Power for
get?
President 2024.
I believe power.
Hey, we can't do any worse than our last couple of presidents by getting power. Okay. Um, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say power is just a force of nature that can be reckoned with, and I am here for it. But also, I think if power wins any Nobel Prize, it would probably be a blood magic type thing. Like she does something with her blood magic that's revolutionary. Like maybe she gets the Nobel
Well,
Prize
she can
for.
stabilize people.
Yeah.
I was going to say that she could make the blood magic into a viable way to treat patients in the hospital. Will she do that? Hell no. Could she do it? Oh, definitely. So that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, if y'all have nothing else, we'll wrap it up here and say we are Animated Classified, and we are very excited to see where Chainsaw Man goes from here, and we hope you'll continue to follow us on this journey. If you like what you've listened to, definitely check us out on Spotify or iTunes or wherever else you find your podcast. And leave us a rating and a review on there. And also, if you find us on YouTube, leave us a comment on what you think. What do y'all think of these episodes so far? What do y'all think of Chainsaw Man? What are your hopes going forward? So, let us know, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a good day, all.